Hi, I used to work at a gas station, and this is that time that I had to yell at a bunch of cops because a homeless guy stabbed himself. Coming to you from my backyard. But Alex, why are you in your backyard? Go watch my other video. Spoiler alert, black mold. Yeah. So I used to work at a gas station for like a year and a half, and one day this guy comes in, perfectly harmless. He was actually asking about AA meetings in the area. Pretty cool. Love to see that. Unfortunately, came back about 2 hours later, not the same guy anymore, relatively speaking. He came back with a very large wrench and started talking to me about how every single person who came into the shop was his cousin or his uncle or his aunt or somebody related. That person right there is my sister. Bro, none of the people that you just pointed out look even remotely like you. So I came out from behind the cash register to talk to him because he obviously needed somebody to talk to. And he starts telling me the saddest story about how he used to own a tattoo shop and he has a daughter and how his business wasn't doing so good. So his wife ended up leaving him and she took their daughter with her. I was like, how'd you end up losing that business if it was so successful? Meth. Really methed that one up. But it wasn't like just the meth, right? It was the decisions that came along with smoking it. He ended up, going manic and spending too much money on like tons of random stuff. And that caused him to not be able to afford rent and lose his business. So his wife ends up taking his daughter. He completely spirals, of course, going to the only coping mechanism that he currently has, which is drugs and alcohol. And of course, that ends up making the problem worse. But telling the story kind of starts hyping him up a little bit, and he starts getting really energetic, but also very paranoid while we're talking. And he grabs this very large wrench that he came in with, and he goes, "That guy right there, he's my uncle." Again, they look nothing alike. In my head, I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I see where this, don't do what that. And then I jumped in front of the wrench as he was about to hammer this guy down in the noggin. The guy had no idea that this happened. My coworker really played it off extraordinarily well. Just went about as if nothing was happening and just finished off selling the stuff, and then he called the cops. Good job. I don't want anybody else coming through getting hit with a very large wrench. I'm lucky I didn't get hit with a very large wrench. But we keep talking, and he keeps divulging more and more awful things that have happened to him in his life. He starts talking about how nobody cares about him anymore and that life is meaningless. He feels helpless and hopeless. And as we're talking, he is twirling this fork in his hand. And as he says life is meaningless, he just stabs the fork right into his hand. And I just looked at him and I was like, yeah, that must have been really painful. What happened to you, but also the fork that's in your hand right now, that probably, I don't know which one of them probably hurt worse. The man was very surprised that I had no reaction to him stabbing himself. Reasonable. Of course, inside my head, I'm like, oh no! But the cops show up. They take him outside. They sit him down. They're talking with him. I'm making an assumption that they're going to like take him in, probably 5150 him at the bare minimum. They come back inside and they go, "There's nothing that we can do about this." And I go, "He stabbed himself. What do you mean?" And then they're like, "Well, he's not currently a danger to himself or anybody else." And I was like, "He tried to smash someone's head open with a wrench and then he stabbed himself." And they were like, "Oh, well, we asked him if he was going to hurt anybody else or if he planned on hurting himself again. And he said no." What? Yeah, he said that he wasn't going to do anything. And now there are 3 cops in front of me all telling me the story. And I look dead at them. And I'm just like, he said he was going to go make a false threat across the street. They were like, "Well, sorry, we can't do." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up right now. You guys came out here to nicely talk to a man who just attempted to hit a person in the head with a wrench, myself included, and then stabbed himself, and there is nothing you can do about it. You are terrible at your jobs. If you can't tell that that guy is about to go and do something worse, either to himself or somebody else, you guys need to quit your jobs right now, hand me your badges, because obviously I can do a better job than you. And then they were like, sir. And I was like, no, sir. Obviously, you guys can't read a person at all. Now go back to school and learn how to pick up on social cues and get out of my fucking store. And then they tried to like talk me down, and I told them to shut the fuck up and get out of my store. And guess what? Guess what happened? He went across the street, made a threat, and then they had to go and arrest him. Surprise, surprise. And so I know that this happened because the police station called me back and they asked me who the guy that was in my shop was. I told them, they told me the description, and then told me that he had just made a threat on the hotel across the street from me. And I was straight up just like, I told you and the people that were just here that that is exactly what he was going to do, and you guys did nothing about it. I don't want to hear any more about this. And then I just hung up the phone. So yeah, I screamed at a bunch of cops and told them to go fuck themselves. That was pretty fun. That guy just wanted a place to stay for the night and food. And that's what he had to do in order to get that. We need to do something about this. I'm doing all that I can about this stuff right now, and you can help me, and please, thank you. Help. Bye. Okay, bye.